you enjoy this episode of Cosmetics in Dota 2. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the last episode of the Dota Academy, at least for the normal part of the Academy lessons. The guides for the heroes will be coming shortly after, which we discussed in the previous video that there will be, like, a video per hero, because it'll take a good 7 minutes or so to discuss every hero and what roles they could serve, so that's basically why that will take that duration of time. But this is the last episode of Dota Academy in the non-guide format, because the last episode is probably the one I'm glad I held off till the end. We're talking about cosmetics, alright? Cosmetics in Dota 2 are legitimately what actually keeps the game moving. Like, without cosmetics, there actually would not be anything. Like, Dota is all about its cosmetics, and that's the only way that Dota really gets funding for anything. Like, the prize pools and stuff like that, sure, they come from external tournament sites and external people like that, but cosmetics are what keep people in the game. It holds people over, but at the same time, cosmetics reverts back to the community post that basically we went for the last video, is that cosmetics is a very crucial point of Dota 2, because it holds people over to make their heroes look nicer and cooler. And, you know, maybe if you're like me, you have 17 of one item. But, like, cosmetics is a real big thing in Dota 2. And we have a workshop as well that's used to produce sets all the time. And by a workshop that produces sets, I mean we have people in the workshop who make sets for Dota 2, and as a result, get funding from that. Though Valve in the past years, I'd say it's been about a couple years, have not really made the system very nice, I'd say, for the workshop artists who make sets. They don't get that much money, and you know, that's some of that stuff is some people's lifestyle, and it's hard for people to come around and look around and just be like, why would I make sets if I get like literal pocket change for a almost year and a half of work to make a set? Or 6 months, or just any point in time. Like, they spent so long to make a set, and it takes forever for it to come out. But those people are literally the people that keep Dota running more than Dota itself. Other than, you know, Valve creating updates that nerf or buff specific heroes, which makes some cosmetics a little bit less than happy to play or obtainable, in a sense. Not really obtainable, but more or less like, if a hero's not played often anymore, then its cosmetics aren't going to be used because, you know, why play the hero if the hero can't be played? Anyway, the episode's not going to be really long because there's multiple types of cosmetics. The rarities are sorted, I believe, to common, which is self-explanatory. It's gray rarity. And then there's uncommon, which is a light blue. Then there is rare, which is dark blue. And then there is mythical, which is purple. And then I believe there's elder, which means it's a like tan blue, kind of weird kind of blue like that. And that's like basically like a Dota beta item in a sense. And then I think there's a red one, which is cursed. There's a green one, which is... Actually, there's two green ones. There's green one, which is Arcana, and that's like the most expensive item you could get that's not like a specific item that's like rare to find. And then there's a green item, which is Auspicious, which came from a Dota event in the past. Don't be tricked by a lot of the stuff that is Dota events from the past, though, because some of that stuff isn't exactly crazy, rarity-wise. And then there is a yellow, which is Immortal. And Immortal was something that was fairly recently added because some of the older items in Dota 2 don't actually have that little Immortal line under it. Like here, you can see that is rarity Immortal, but this is an item from forever ago that might be more rare than some other item, and it won't be Immortal, basically. So sometimes the Immortal tag doesn't actually mean anything when it breaks down to the end of the storyline. And then I believe there are other ones that are overall rarity. There's pink, which is legendary. There are a lot of legendary stuff as well. Pink is usually now for signatures, though. So whenever you go around to the international comes around, they come out with these chests called the Trove Carafes, or just any other troves. And those chests will have signatures with people's names in them. And when you buy them, it gives $1 out of the chest of which you purchased to the person of whom you purchased it under their name. So that's what the legendary signatures basically will do. And then that's really about it. There's a couple of other items that changes the multi-kill banners, and there's also some stuff that changes like just the kill banners in general, which I'm actually very interested as to why that's not equipped. And then there's some stuff that changes the world as well. So the first one I could easily talk to is about map terrains. This could change basically the setup of your map into anything that you would want. There's also ones that changes the creeps into anything that you would want in particular. There's also ways to change the effects and visuals of the towers, as well as some fancy statues that you can put on shuffle in your pool of stuff. And then there's some cool weather effects that also are added into the game that make the game that little bit extra fancier. Then the interface is also some HUDs. These are pretty old because the HUDs don't really do much anymore, but then you also have specialized loading screens, which, again, I don't know why these aren't equipped. And then do that. There, are these both in the shuffle? Okay, they're both in shuffle. And then there's loading screens that you could see here that all of these usually come from sets that are bound within your inventory within the millions of billions of years. There's also genuine, which is another sort of rarity, which is a light green. It's not really that crazy to get a genuine thing nowadays because genuine doesn't do much. And then there's cursor packs and emoticons. Cursor packs will change what your cursor looks like in-game. I personally use the Venomancer one because it's a straight pointy one. And then there's audio. For the most part, this is fairly recently that some Arcanas will come with the voice packs for new heroes. The reason why the voice packs for the new heroes with the Arcana versions are still there is because some people prefer the old classic artists of the voice actors in comparison to others. But of course, without that being the big thing too, there's also kill streaks, as in the mega kill announcers and the normal announcers, as well as music on the in-game that changes your overall listening in Dota. So, because usually I have to unequip these when I do casting, so that's one thing. Next are couriers and wards. Now, most couriers nowadays are either legendary or mythical. Every now and again, you will run into ones that are rare, but mostly the rare ones come from battle passes or just from random things out in the universe that kind of just happen and land in your inventory. Or some come from very specific ways to get from games, in the sense. You get some special stuff that comes from a game every now and again. So Amaterasu is one if you got, wait, Okami? No, it's not Okami. What's the name of the game? Basically, you got it from a game, and that was the only way you can end up really getting Amaterasu. And then some of the other couriers will come from very specific promotions that are within, like, the game itself, like day of events. And then there's also wards too. Wards usually come in a various type of rarity, but most of the time it's rare and uncommon. The newer wards might be hitting with the immortal or the mythic rarities, but whenever you buy like a set, it usually hits it with the rare or uncommon. And then when you're here in the cosmetic menu, as you saw me scrolling down initially, you can see all your cosmetics by heroes, or you can just see them all meshed up in a big old pile. Usually I like to go with the heroes one. That's what this page is for here. And then there's treasures and charms. So usually if you have a bunch of treasures that you don't have open, it would show up here, basically. This is where all your unopened boxes would be. And then there's charms, which is basically your assured victory shouts, or if you have Dota Plus, your Dota Plus victory shout. Dota Plus is also a technical, quote-unquote, cosmetic in the sense that it increases your game playability by giving you the ability to just complete challenges and level up heroes to make them look all shiny. That's not really a cosmetic, though, but that's pretty much it. And then every international, they have this little extra slot that says International 2019, but this year, it'll say 2020 when the international comes around. When the international comes around, it'll change out to 2020, and anything that has to do with the 2020 International Battle Pass will show up in this page. But for right now, it just shows everything because it doesn't want to cycle through and go through stuff between that. In reality, I think it's actually anytime between the 2019 International and the 2020 International, this stuff shows up here until the 2020 International starts, then it wipes everything again. So these might be all the cosmetics I've earned between now and 2020, but I know that's a lie because this is from an international as well. So, but with that being said, the cosmetics is not really a huge thing when it comes to just looking at the physical stuff, but the big thing is that it supports the artists that are hard at work making the game look pretty and much better than any other game out there. So, the cosmetics episode really roots down to me saying, support your artists today. Go into the community workshop, vote up their sets, and make sure that you have that person just extremely happy to see that somebody is supporting their artistry work. Find them on Twitter, find them on, I don't know, Facebook maybe, I don't know. But support your local artists in your Dota 2, League of Legends, World of Warcraft, Heroes of the Storm. Like, all of those guys are vitally important in a game's success. And Dota 2 would not be the same without that support from the workshop artists. And hopefully, Valve will end up turning their eyes and understanding that this scenario that they have put their own workshop artists into should be and could be flipped around to best work to their advantage. Because now, Valve is making a lot of money, and the people who are slaving away trying to make the game a better place visually and physically are stuck in the pit. So, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed the last normal episode of Dota Academy. Sometime in the next couple weeks here, we will start the guides for the Dota 2 heroes. Unfortunately, I will be gone at ESL LA, assuming it does not get canceled due to the coronavirus. But I will be at ESL LA for the event, basically, and I hope to see as many people as possible there. I will be working, but I don't know what I'm doing yet. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I hope to see you next time for some more Dota 2 action with the Dota Academy series. Stay tuned, as we will have maybe one little special episode of the workshop support coming right around the corner. So stay tuned. We'll see you next time. Party Petey, signing off. Thanks for watching this episode of Dota Academy. We'll come to you next time with some more epic videos about learning Dota. If there's anything you need me to highlight, please feel free to say it in the comments below. Make sure to subscribe, and we'll see you next time.